Okay, trustees, we are live. We are recording. Phone lines will remain off, and go for it.
I'd like to welcome everybody to the organizational meeting of East Hampton Town Trustees for January 12th, 2026. And I'd like to open with Pledge of Allegiance.
United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, before we go any further, we'll proceed with the election of the clerks for the preceding year. Chris?
Happy to take over. Good evening, trustees. At this time, we're going to open up the floor for the nominations for the positions of clerk and the two deputy clerks. The way it's going to work is I'm going to, Jim's nominating somebody.
So sense taken.
Excuse me?
Just get the ball rolling.
So we're going to start with nominations for the position of trustee clerk.
I'd like to nominate Francis Bach.
Second.
Okay, we have Francis Bach has been nominated. Are there any other nominations for the position of trustee clerk? Okay, let the record show there are no other nominations for a trustee clerk. We're now going to move to nominations for the two positions available as deputy clerk. So at this time, is there a nomination for deputy clerk?
I nominate John Aldred.
Second.
Okay. And are there any other nominations for deputy clerk?
Jimmy Grimes.
Second.
Okay, John Aldrin and Jim Grimes have been nominated and seconded as deputy clerk. Are there any other nominations for deputy clerk? Yeah, let the record show there are two nominations for the two positions of deputy clerk for 2026. That's John Aldred and Jim Grimes. The trustees can now look at their ballots and go ahead and fill out their votes for those three positions.
Somebody want to make a motion to cast one vote?
Yeah, I can't. What do you want? Just make a motion.
Someone can make a motion to cast one vote for each position. And that's all we need.
Second.
I can't make the motion on the.
I make a motion, we cast one vote for each position.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
So motion is made to forego casting the actual ballots because there has been nobody else to run for those additional positions. So this time we'll need votes for Francis, John, and Jim.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thank you for your vote of confidence. I really do appreciate it.
So the envelopes, we don't need
Yeah.
anymore.
No,
There's no point.
I'll fill out one ballot of each. And
Congratulations, clerk. Congrats.
So do we all fill them out or just you do, Francis?
Just Francis.
we only need one.
Okay.
Well, anybody could have done it, but can I have the envelope?
You want?
Thank you. Okay, 3:30 did it, so. Thank you, everybody. We'll now move on to the reading of the annual resolutions. We'll go around the table. We'll start with Bill. Clockwise.
You set? Yeah. Whereas the trustees of the freeholders and commonality of the town of East Hampton, hereafter referred to as the trustees, intend to make every effort to best serve the people of the town of East Hampton, and whereas the trustees feel that oversight, care, maintenance, and improvements of the buildings entrusted
Of the
into
holdings. Of the holdings.
of the holdings entrusted into our hands on behalf of the people of our community will best be served by the installation of several clerks, and therefore be it resolved, the trustees intend to install one part-time clerk and two part-time deputy clerks, each with his or her specific responsibilities, along with the general knowledge and oversight of all aspects of the business of the trustees.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
It's just this one line, resolve the clerk, deputy clerks, two of them, and trustee secretary are designated as the financial officers of the Board of Trustees for the year 2026.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Whereas the office business of the East Hampton Town Trustees is generally conducted by a secretary, and whereas Arlene Tesser-Sella is now secretary and already employed by the town of East Hampton to conduct the office duties of the trustees. Be it further resolved, the clerk is hereby authorized to employ Arlene Tesser-Sella as secretary to the East Hampton Town Trustees for the year 2026, and therefore be it resolved, Arlene Tesser-Sella will continue as secretary to East Hampton Town Trustees for the year 2026. In addition to her salary as a town employee, she'll receive a stipend of $170 per week from trustee funds.
Second that.
All in favor?
Aye. Okay, whereas the 2026 East Hampton Town Trustees will employ Christopher A. Carrillo Esquire as counsel for the year 2026, and whereas the Board of Trustees will compensate Christopher A. Carrillo Esquire an annual salary of $51,000, and therefore be resolved that the Board of Trustees will enter into an agreement to hire the law office of Christopher A. Carrillo Esquire to serve as counsel for the year 2026.
Second.
All in favor?
Thank you, trustees.
Whereas the 2026 East Hampton Town Trustees will employ Van Dyke and Hand CPA PC as the accounting firm for the year 2026, and therefore be it resolved that the Board of Trustees will enter into an agreement to hire the accounting firm Van Dyke and Hand CPA PC to serve as accountants for the year 2026.
I'll second that.
2026, but they're using it to. Never mind. Forget it. I'm
That's the
sorry.
wrong one.
Yeah, just
I was just making sure it wasn't the wrong year. I'm sorry.
All in favor?
Aye.
Whereas the trustees designate certain banks with which to conduct the business of the town trustees. Whereas the financial officers are authorized to consolidate and/or relocate amounts that, as they see fit, following notification to the trustee board. And be it further resolved, the trustees have designated the following bank as the official depositories for the funds coming into the hands of the trustees. M&T Bank, 351 Panago Road, East Hampton, New York, 11937. Therefore, be it resolved, the clerk, 2 deputy clerks, and trustee secretary are authorized to utilize the debit card established for operational expenses for the year 2026. The amount of any single purchase shall not exceed $1,000, and purchases exceeding $1,000 must have board approval.
I'll second it.
Anybody want to talk about that? Personally, I'm not sure we need to go that high.
Well, it has been 500 for years, but there's been several occasions, Francis, where Arlene's called me or Allison's called me, because it doesn't take much to exceed
No.
that minimum, and it seems a little cumbersome to have the $500. Seems a little bit,
Would 750 suffice?
well, I mean,
I think there's been some purchases that have exceeded $750.
yeah, I honestly think $1,000 is not,
Okay, is there a second?
I seconded it.
You did.
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye. Yeah, clerk should authorize that petty cash fund. Different, right?
This is different.
Okay. Petty cash fund not to exceed $300 for expenditures in the year 2026 for supplies, mailing costs, and operational expenses. And whereas, in addition, the clerk, 2 deputy clerks, and trustee secretaries are authorized to issue checks not to exceed $500 for operational expenses for the year of 2026. And therefore, resolve the clerk, two deputy clerks, and trustee secretary are so authorized, and any checks or debit card purchases over 1,000 are to be approved by the Board of Trustees.
This is a little confusing.
No, 500's right.
This is about petty cash.
Yeah, this is petty cash in checks,
And
not the debit
checks.
card.
So shouldn't the checks and the debit card be the same, like 1,000, right? They're 1,000. And then the petty cash is,
There's $300.
That's actually in here. It says,
Yeah.
any
So what does
checks
it
or
say?
debit
It should
card
check-
purchase
okay,
over
$300.
$1,000.
I think there's two, I agree, Patrice, I think the two should align.
So
it's just confusing to read then.
Yeah.
Jim, there's a typo that I caught and I didn't change in time. And if you go back to Resolution 7, I forgot to change the 500 to 1,000 for operational. There's
that's
2
what-
paragraphs with 500 and 1,000 in them. So,
Yeah, all right,
I'll
so
take it.
yeah.
I'm good with if we want to change it.
Yep.
the 500 will change to 1,000.
Where are you pen or something?
Okay, second,
I'll second that.
Thank you.
all in favor?
Aye.
Whereas it is necessary to protect the assets held by the trustees for the clerk, the 2 deputy clerks, and the trustee secretaries are to be bonded. And therefore, be it resolved, the clerk of the trustees and 2 deputy clerks and trustee secretary will be bonded for $1.4 million for the year of 2026.
Second.
I have
Wait
a
a second.
question.
Yeah,
Is that each or just total?
aggregate, I think
It says each.
it is each, and it should be each. But I think, Francis, you mentioned
Our assets have increased substantially over the past couple of years, and it's now $2.2 million. So I would like to propose that we increase this bonding figure.
What's the price of the bond?
What are we paying for this? Arlene, do you remember how much we paid for this?
Well, we paid $3,500 per person for, what was that, $1,200,000, $1,250,000?
$1.4 million.
Last year was $1 million for the
Okay, yeah,
It was about
$3,500
$3,500
each
each.
per person, but it's,
It may be up to 5,000 per person, but it's covering 2 million.
Yeah, I think it would make sense, given especially the legal climate out there, and that we cover ourselves. So Francis, you want to make a motion?
I'd like to make a motion, we increase it to 2 million.
I'll second that motion.
Shouldn't increase the premium all that much either.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
2 million?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It won't double the premium.
No, I mean, if you were doubling the amount, you would double it. We're just going up.
I can share, but there you go.
There you go, thank you.
who was reading that?
Did you just?
I read that.
Who seconded
So we need a
that?
second,
Did anybody second? No.
all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Resolution number 9, whereas from time to time it becomes necessary for monies to be withdrawn from the trustee accounts. And therefore be it resolved, the clerk, 2 deputy clerks, or trustee secretary as trustee financial officers are hereby authorized to execute any withdrawals and/or transfers of checks from the trustees' designated depositories, and said documents shall be signed by any 2 of them.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Whereas it is prudent for a public agency to designate an official newspaper within the town to receive and publish information to the public from the trustees, and therefore be it resolved, the town trustees designate the East Hampton Star to be the official newspaper of record for the year 2026.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Whereas the 2026 East Hampton Town Trustees will hold public meetings on the second and fourth Mondays of each month at 6:30 PM, in addition to any unscheduled duly called meetings. And whereas on the days the second or fourth Monday is a legal government holiday, the trustees' schedule will be as follows. For the fourth Monday of May, which is Memorial Day holiday, the trustees' meeting shall be held on Friday, May 29th at 5:30 PM at Town Hall. For the meeting of the second Monday in October, the Columbus Day holiday, the trustees' meeting shall be held on Friday, October 16th at 5:30 PM. And whereas the town trustees desire to accommodate the public in a comfortable and safe manner in accordance with the open meetings law, therefore be it resolved, the East Hampton Town trustee meetings will be held in the East Hampton Town Hall Meeting Room or via Zoom virtual meetings on the second and fourth Mondays of each month at 6:30 PM, and the public is cordially invited to attend. The next meeting of said trustees will take place on January 26, 2026.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Whereas the salary schedule for the East Hampton Town Trustees and their council for the year 2026, as set in cooperation with the trustees and town board, are as follows. Resolved, the town will pay clerk $32,177, deputy clerk $27,112, second deputy clerk $27,112, and the 6 trustees $12,834. Law offices of Christopher A. Carrillo Esquire, $51,000.
Second. All in favor?
Okay, resolution number 13, whereas office secretarial help for the year is needed and has been part of the trustee operations, and whereas the workload of the trustees has increased quite significantly over the years, and in order for the trustees' office to run efficiently, 1 full-time secretary will be employed. Therefore, be it resolved that Allison Felonius will be a full-time secretary for the town trustees at a salary of $27 per hour for a maximum of 40 hours per week, paid from trustee funds.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Excuse me. Whereas the conduct of the town trustees' business requires proper and efficient operation of the trustees' office, therefore be it resolved, the clerk and 2 deputy clerks are authorized to take the necessary actions to ensure proper and efficient operations of the trustees' office.
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
What does that mean?
That
just voted for it. I know.
We've gone through that before.
some decisions can be made without having to bring everybody together.
I'll stand with my second.
Whereas any one person other than a trustee, trustee attorney, or trustee secretary who wants to review trustee files or documents must do so in the presence of a trustee, trustee attorney, or trustee secretary, or other authorized agent of the Board of Trustees. And therefore be it resolved, review of trustee files or documents shall be done pursuant to and in accordance with the New York Freedom of Information Law.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
What does it mean by the Freedom of Information Law? Does it mean you have to fill out an FOI to do this, if you're not a trustee?
Yeah. I'm not familiar with the Freedom of Information Law in any detail.
Just because it's mentioned, I was just wondering what it means.
Like if someone wants to review a file, can they just come in and?
Yes, typically, yes. FOIL is usually reserved for when somebody wants a copy of the written
okay.
document.
Right. Got it, thank you.
Resolution 16. Resolve, the clerk shall have authorization to call a special meeting of the Board of Trustees at any time, giving the other Board of Trustees members at least 48 hours of written notice specifying the time and place of the meeting. If 3 Board of Trustee members submit a written request for a special meeting, the trustee clerk must schedule the special meeting as soon as possible, but no more than 10 days after the request. Business conducted at a special meeting held without 2 days' notice is valid as long as a quorum of the Board of Trustee members has actual notice of the meeting, attended, and participated. Notice will be posted on the bulletin board at the town clerk's office and by the records committee of the town trustees website at least 48 hours prior to the meeting, indicating the date, time, and location of the special meeting, and therefore be it resolved that notice will also be given to the East Hampton Star newspaper of record within the same period herein specified.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Number 17. Resolved, the clerk is authorized to appoint and set up committees for the operations of the trustees as he or she feels is necessary.
All in favor?
Number 18. Whereas the trustees of the freeholders in commonality of the town of East Hampton are an independently elected board holding authority, is that correct?
I think it's probably just holding authority.
Yeah, holding
ownership.
authority and ownership of bottomlands and ranches in the town of East Hampton. Whereas trustee interests and holdings may be impacted by the actions and decisions of external agencies, organizations, and committees which operate in the town of East Hampton and within the state of New York. These committees include, but are not limited to, Town of East Hampton Special Events Committee, the Energy and Sustainability Committee, the Nature Preserve Committee, the Peconic Estuary Partnership, that's changed program to partnership, and Water Quality Technical Advisory Committee, WQTAC, And whereas historically, trustees provide knowledge and expertise in the area of preservation and sustainability, and as such, the aforementioned committees offer a seat on the committee to a trustee board member. And whereas the trustee clerk appoints a board member to sit on internal and external committees with the expectation that the trustee committee member will be making decisions on behalf of the trustees to the best of their ability while understanding the goals of the board of trustees. And now, therefore, be it resolved, the trustee clerk will continue to appoint one trustee board member to sit on the Town of East Hampton Special Events Committee, the Energy and Sustainability Committee, the Nature Preserve Committee, the Peconic Estuary Partnership, and the Water Quality Technical Advisory Committee. And now therefore be it further resolved in appointing a trustee board member to each of these committees. The full board of trustees agrees and understands that the trustee committee member will act on behalf of and according to the goals of the board of trustees.
I have a question about the Energy and Sustainability Committee. We haven't had a member there, have we?
Well, I've been the liaison. I haven't sat on the board, but I listen to the meetings and I take notes.
Okay.
Well, their votes, does that committee vote?
Well, if they want to make specific recommendations, but generally speaking, they just decide, how they want to deploy their own internal resources as opposed to take votes specifically. Does that, because it's an advisory committee, it's not
They don't have any
voting
authority.
Yeah, they
per
don't
se.
have, yeah.
It's like the Nature Preserve Committee is the
I was
same.
gonna say, what about Nature Preserve? They vote on certain things. don't
I go to all those meetings. Yeah, we just advise the town board on their decision.
Okay, did anybody second
I
that?
second it.
All in favor?
Aye. Whereas town trustees have a long-standing practice of opening Georgia Pond to the Atlantic Ocean biannually, typically in the early spring and the fall of each year. And whereas in the absence of a natural flushing event, the trustees have historically opened Georgia Pond to the sea each spring and fall in order to correspond to seasonal fish migrations and to ensure that the pond's water remains brackish or salt. And whereas opening Georgia Pond to the sea twice per year helps to ensure that traditional maritime species in the pond remain viable, and whereas the opening of Georgia Pond requires flexibility on the part of the trustees, since water levels and other conditions pertinent to the opening date can change quickly, and now therefore be it resolved that the clerk of trustees is hereby authorized to arrange the biannual opening and closing of Georgia Pond in according with the longstanding historical practice of the town trustees by engaging contractors to open Georgia Pond with advance notice to other trustees by phone, email, or other available means of advance notice.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
All right. Resolved, the clerk and two deputy clerks are authorized to execute ongoing leases and assignments with the Lazy Point residents as per the most recently adopted rules and regulations.
Second.
All in favor?
Resolved, all the trustees using their own cars for official business or duties outside the town of East Hampton may present a bill for travel mileage at the rate currently approved by the Internal Revenue Service. And when all of the conditions of the town board resolution regarding travel mileage of 2026 are met or otherwise approved by the trustees.
Second.
All in favor?
Okay. Put your pillows and blankets out. Resolution number 22. Resolved, the fee schedule for the Board of Trustees for the year 2026 is as follows. General applications, first application per property, $125. Renewal application per year would, for any of these, is $100. Multi-year permit, I think we're going to discuss this a little bit. How do we want to handle that?
Say 125 for the first year and 100 for every subsequent year.
Can we first start with terms on multi-year permits? Because I know there are some permits we've issued, this one for 2 years, there's one for 3 years, and then there's 5 and.
And a 10.
Do we have a 10?
No,
We have 110.
We have one 10-year permit, yeah. Would it make sense for us to just have a standard 5-year or something like that?
Well, the only thing with
Isn't that
that is
another-
these multi-year permits, Francis, a lot of times have been applied for to try and align with other agencies' permits.
that's why.
If we're going to do something that, if we're going to put a ceiling on the number of years permits, I would suggest that we put a 5-year ceiling. And the reason for that is so that there's some continuity between changes in membership on this board, so that we're not issuing, let's say, if we issue a 10-year permit, there is a chance, or maybe a good chance, that none of our present board members will be on the board when that permit still is in place. And it puts the burden on our secretarial staff, which again, may or may not be there at the end of the permit to basically oversee that. So I would suggest putting a 5-year ceiling.
But isn't that a different question? This is a fee schedule.
It's a fee schedule, but I think it wouldn't be bad to write the maximum multi-year term into this.
Well, I wonder if that question should be addressed in another resolution in the next meeting, but it seems as though the fee schedule, regardless of how many years, can be set at, the application fee the first year and then the renewal fee for each subsequent year. That's kind of how I think that's how we're handling it now.
Well, I agree with that, but I think, John, we could easily put parentheses, next 5 years. Pay me a crappy.
I tried.
So you're saying it's a 1-year permit or a 5-year permit?
Well, the max, I think we should ceiling it out at 5 years.
But you could have a 3, so we're
Yes.
saying we have renewal per year is 100.
Yep.
And then multi-year, and you could say 3, 5, or no more than 5,
Right, maximum 5
maximum
years.
5.
And that would be, I read this as the fee would be $100, because I'm reading it that the first application is $125, and that applies to a multi-year permit as well. And then the renewal, the multi-year
$100 per
permit is multi-year annual renewal, I would write that as. Multi-year
Well, it says renewal applications per year. This covers however many years are
I
up.
think we'll read more into this than we need to.
Yeah, we may have to do a separate resolution on the particulars of this. Because it should be, we should have in writing that it's payable in full
Yeah.
at the time of application.
If you get a 5-year permit, you pay $500.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Okay,
All right, can we move on?
yes.
Okay, moorings, resident per foot of boat, $12 per linear foot. Non-resident per foot, $30. Large boat mooring administrative, $75 fee, 3 Mile Harbor only. Commercial moorings, commercial fisherman, first mooring, $100. Commercial fisherman, second mooring, $50. Discounted commercial moorings with tax return or receipts for sale of fish totaling $1,000. 1 mooring, $50. With tax return or receipts for sale of fish totaling $1,500, with 2 moorings would be $100. Docks and walkways, private per square foot, $1. Commercial per linear foot, $4 per linear foot. The minimum fee for both of these would be $150. Pilings, freestanding pilings, each $18. Traps, fish traps, each $20. Duck blinds, each $50. Keeps going. Dredge material would be charged at a cost of $7.50 per cubic yard of material removed from our bottomland. I'm inserting language in here, so just if I'm pissing you off, just tell me. Dredge material, minimal fee, $350. Other staircases, landing on Trustee Beach, $200. Other structures per square foot, $1. Kayak racks, kayaks, each per season, April to November, $250. Fencing, this should be, say, sand fencing. Initial shoreline fencing per fence, $75. Renewal shoreline fencing per fence, $75. Lazy Point lots, lease fee per lot to increase 2% annually, rounded off to the nearest whole dollar, this year is $2,051. Lot transfer fees of total sale or rental of a house on trustee property shared equally between the buyer and seller is 4%. Shellfish bags each, $1. Shellfish tags, first 50 tags, $0. There's no charge for that. Second 50 tags, $5. Impounds fee each, $250.
I have a question. On the fencing, is it $75 initial for 1 year? On the sand fence?
I'm going to be honest, my understanding was $75 for the installation, and you wouldn't be paying an annual fee on that unless you're installing new fencing. So
Oh, okay.
I think that's a bit redundant. It should just
Yeah.
read $75.
And then on the moorings, we had some discussion this fall about making the kayak dates equate to the mooring, so the boat removal dates and the kayak dates are off by like 2 weeks. So to simplify it, and we don't mention them in here.
But we don't have, this is just the fees.
Yeah, it's not policy.
This is only the fee schedules.
Although it
but it
does
says
say
here-
April to November for the kayaks, and we
Yeah, we've
had
got
talked
dates in
about
there for the kayak.
extending the
does.
kayaks to December. We haven't done it yet, so I think this is not inaccurate.
Can be sit on hold right now. Okay, do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Right.
Okay. This is weird, yeah. Resolve, the trustees utilize the interest accumulated from the East Hampton Town Trustees Scholarship Fund for the calendar year 2026 in a manner consistent with its original intent to provide for the education of East Hampton school children.
Second.
All in favor?
Number 24, resolve the Board of Trustees shall employ 2 pump-out boat operators and up to 2 part-time operators to remove waste material from boat holding tanks in harbors and water bodies within the town of East Hampton. from approximately mid-May through October 2026. And therefore be it resolved for 2026, the senior operator shall be paid $35 per hour, and the second operator shall be paid $25 per hour for up to 40 hours per week. One part-time operator shall be paid $25 per hour for up to 30 hours per week each. If deemed necessary, an additional part-time operator will be employed at $25 per hour for up to 30 hours a week.
I would like to make a recommendation that we amend the second operator from $25 to $30 an hour.
We have two boats,
Both of
right?
them? Both guys.
We have two boats, but what it is I want to call him our senior operator works in Montauk. The tipping in Montauk is significantly more than what they get in 3 Mile Harbor. I think it's a little unfair. So I would like to, if we could increase that. As far as the other part-time operators, I'm ambivalent as to whether we increase that as well.
I would increase the Montauk one if that rate is normally higher out there.
No, I'm talking, well, the one, that fellow's already been paid $35 an hour. So if we want to make them, all the part-times $30 an hour, I don't have a problem with that, but I'm asking for the full-time, or full-time, part-time operator.
I don't have a problem with
How much
increasing it.
time do the part-time operators put in?
They put in full weeks generally. They're working 30 plus hours, I believe. Allison or Arlene can
Yeah,
confirm.
30 hours.
About that, yep, exactly.
Yeah.
And they split their time
Bob is
between the
working
two harbors,
40.
right?
Well,
We'll call it
they
worth
split
about-
their time between the two harbors. Doug primarily is in Montauk.
Mhm. Okay.
I think 30 is fair.
30 for all the part-timers.
I'll second that.
This is super important.
All right. David?
So to clarify, that was 30 for both part-time operators, did I hear that
Correct.
correctly?
Second, if there isn't one already.
All in favor?
Aye.
Did you just read that? Whereas the town board has required that an audit be done of the trustees' financial records by their accountant, Rocky Smith LLP, for the fiscal year of 2025. Therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Trustees will hire Rocky Smith LLP in 2026 to do an audit of trustee finances for the fiscal year 2025.
I second that.
All in favor?
Does that happen every year?
Yeah.
Resolution 26. Whereas the office business of the East Hampton Town Trustees is generally conducted by a secretary, and whereas Allison Felonius is now secretary and already employed by the town of East Hampton Trustees to conduct the office duties of the trustees, be further resolved that the clerk is hereby authorized to employ Allison Felonius as secretary to the East Hampton Town Trustees for the year 2026, and therefore be it resolved, Allison Felonius will continue to as secretary of the East Hampton Town Trustees for the year 2026, in addition to her salary as a trustee, and then as a town employee, she will receive a stipend of $170 per week from trustee funds.
Second. Second.
I don't understand it. Okay, she's hired as a trustee employee. Allison is not a town employee, so I think we scratch that. There's hope that she will be hired as a town employee, but we're not there yet.
I think that was probably inserted in there to allow this stipend to continue if she's transitioned from a trustee employee to a town employee.
But, okay, but if she doesn't, why is it necessary?
Just say,
If she doesn't, it's only necessary if she does to keep
Right.
that language.
Oh,
If it's written, her salary as a trustee.
It's like we're looking into a crystal ball here because, and why is that necessary in an annual resolution? I think that could be handled with a separate resolution once it becomes
It can.
real.
It can.
Yeah.
You just can't forget to do it.
No, not what we want. We're not going to take it away. Right. So can we scratch that town employee?
I guess this is a question for Chris. When you say someone is an employee in the state of New York, does that mean does that include pension, things like that? Or does it mean would be better off to say that she's a contractor than an employee?
Depends on the position, and is she treated as an employee?
She's an employee. We pay
She's an employee?
other insurances.
Okay, then that's good.
Not health insurance, but we have liability and workers' comp.
Yeah, that's been,
Pension?
We're working on all this.
Yeah, because I worked for a company where we got in trouble for that from the IRS, but yeah, I mean, if that's the convention to use the word employee, an employee, fine.
well, I mean, the situation has been going on for years. We're just continuing it.
Yeah, no,
I
I'm
mean,
just
it's-
questioning the use of that
There's
word.
no reason to change statuses and stuff at this time.
It's just the word employee has a connotation of.
Yeah, but it's like years after.
Yeah.
She was just trying to clarify that she's an employee.
We'll discuss that.
You're next.
So number 27.
We didn't finish this
Finish
one.
26.
Yeah, we need a second.
Second.
Oh,
All in favor? Aye.
okay. Number 27. Whereas in 2021, by resolutions 2011-11-22 and number 2022-33, the trustees embarked on a comprehensive dock inventory project. And whereas by resolutions number 2022-27 and number 2023-27 and number 2024-28, the trustees hired Allison Bolaños to organize, coordinate, and oversee the dock inventory project. And whereas by resolution 2023-38, utilizing the largely complete inventory project, the trustees enacted a prohibition on the construction of new docks and other structures in trustee waters. And whereas by resolution 2023-36, the trustees adopted new policies pertaining to the continued management and monitoring of all docks in trustee waters as a result of the comprehensive dock inventory and analysis. Whereas notwithstanding the foregoing, the dock inventory project requires further back-end work to organize and catalog the inventory, complete the analytical work, and implement new policies. And now therefore be it resolved that Allison Bolaños shall hereby remain employed on a contract basis to continue the organizing, coordinating, and analysis required to complete the inventory project. Be it further resolved that Allison Bolaños shall be paid maximum of $15,000 for this work.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, we want to discuss
I
this?
don't want to second it because quite frankly, this is now, we're going into the third year of this $15,000 bump. And this was supposed to be a one-year thing. And I understand that the inventory took a bit longer, but I think 15 grand to me would seem excessive.
Well, that's a
at this
maximum.
point.
That's a maximum.
Okay, how are we, okay,
So John and I had this discussion. also. And the feeling is that there's still a lot of things that need to be tied up. There are properties that have not been in compliance, and we're now dealing with them. And these have come up as a result of this project, and until those are wrapped up, this is still open.
Is this work being done as part of our, I want to say, normal workday? Or is this work being done
No,
exclusive of that?
Yeah, I would say no. A normal workday, when you're talking about docs, is basically you've got the docs, you've got the information, and you're basically sending out bills. That's a normal doc, work. As Francis said, we're in the process now of sending out letters to people in various categories of docks in disrepair, docks that are different in shape and size than we have records for. We're asking them for information back. They get a certain amount of time to apply to us to correct some of these things or apply to rebuild the derelict docks, things like that. We're in the middle of that now.
Looking into past records.
It's way beyond normal dock work.
Okay, so Allison, am I allowed to ask you the question?
Sure.
Your workday ends at what time?
5.
And then you're working on this post 5 o'clock?
Sometimes it's mostly on the weekends if I'll come in.
Okay, I
Yeah.
just, listen, I run a business, there's got to be some accountability on expenses.
It's a one-time 15,000. It's not 15,000 every year.
It has been
He's put in
15,
4,000.
this
We
is the
pass it,
third
but we
year.
don't pay her 15,000 a year. It's the same. Original 15,000 in 4 years. We paid her 12,000, so that's about 4,000 a year.
Oh, okay, see, that's not clarified. It's
That's
really,
not clear. I
it
knew
really
that you
sounded
misunderstood
like
that.
we
It's been
paid
about
you
4,000 a
15
year.
grand
I just
2 years
told
ago, $15,000
Yes, not a
last year.
Yeah.
Okay, I take back any of the questions that's been answered.
No,
The thing that-
there was a cap put on this.
Yeah, no, I understand the cap.
The
but I
only
didn't-
thing I question about this is, this is the back-end work, catalog the inventory, complete the analytical work, and implement new policies. So we have to define new policies and implement them, and I'm not sure that's within Allison's scope of work.
Well, I think that's what I kind of just described, though. We've implemented the policies, and now the policies are being carried through. And that Allison is carrying through those policies
So I
now.
would modify this because it sounds like we're asking Allison to implement the policies and we are not, right? We're asking her to do the analytical work and that's our job, right? Implementing policy.
Well, I mean, I don't know. It's a semantic thing. She's implementing the new policies. I mean, if you put the in there, it might,
Well, then say-
she's implementing, the policies are there, she's implementing them.
So I would clarify that because it says complete the analytical work and implement new policies. It sounds like the policies are coming out of the analytical work when they're not. The analytical work is more different. It's a different work stream than that.
How do you propose?
I would just say that as a result of the comprehensive dock inventory and analysis, we define new policies. And Allison's working on, then that other paragraph I would just take out, complete the analytical work, because it sounds like it's just hanging there. It's like, you know, you're writing a scope of work for somebody and it's not clear to me what it is. And nor is it clear if this could all be done in 1 year, in this coming year. How much more work?
It's not the kind of thing you can say when it's gonna finish.
But if you're
you can come up with
Look,
a,
we send a letter out, we give them 6 months to reply. We've gotten letters back at the 6-month period that talk about some extenuating circumstance that they're asking for additional time. I mean, all sorts of things like that are happening, are going to continue to happen. There's derelict docks out there that, we've established the policy. You have so much time to apply to us to rebuild this dock. I mean, this stuff's gonna take time.
yeah.
And it's all part of this scope of work here. This is, beyond, we're sending out a bill for the dock. That's what's been done for years and decades, as we have these old records and, okay, it says you have a 20-foot dock and we're sending out a bill for a 20-foot dock. But now it turns out, well, it's not really a 20-foot dock, maybe it's a 25 by 20-foot dock with like a ramp to a walkway, and now, things are changing, and, it'll be a while before we get back to, this is it, everybody's set with their docks, this is what they are, and this is what we're sending out the bills for again. And then we're gonna have to re-inspect them at some point to make sure, what we did in 2022 and 3 and 4 is the same in 2030 or 32 or 34.
This is basically ongoing, continuous work. It's not a contractor position. It's permanent, basically.
I don't know if
We
I'd
don't
say
see
that.
that
I don't know if I'd say that.
I think I would treat this on a year-by-year basis.
We'll look at it again next year.
We had a lot of catching up to do. We kind of felt we hadn't checked them in decades, like John said, so we had to catch up. Now we're hopefully getting back to where we should have been.
Once everything's in compliance that was brought forward by this study, then we can close it out.
And there is ultimately going to be new issues related to existing docks that perhaps change in size. But I think that at that point,
That's separate because,
we're going to be dealing with that
Yes.
on a as they come basis. It'll be part of the everyday duties
Correct.
of both the trustees and our staff. Okay.
yes. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Whereas the trustees of the freeholders and commonality of the town of East Hampton hereafter referred to as the trustees have established a separate account that will serve as the East Hampton Town Trustees Scholarship Fund. The account should yield interest at the current market rate and includes various CDs and other instruments, other investment opportunities the bank offers to achieve the maximum interest dividends. Whereas the trustees previously voted to donate a sum of $10,000 to the scholarship fund any year when there is a sale of spoil from the dredging of Georgica Pond. And now, therefore, be it resolved for the 2026 year, the trustees agreed to donate $10,000 from the sale of spoil from the dredging of Georgica Pond to the East Hampton Town Trustees Scholarship Fund. The trustees also agreed to continue to maintain a separate banking account dedicated specifically to the scholarship fund.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, that does it for the resolutions for the year. Okay, we have a copy of the meeting schedule and move on to payment of the bills. Following bills need to be paid. Johnny Vila, $1,100 for wrapping and covering the boats. Montauk Marine Basin, $99.91 for fuel. Louis Joe's Avalon Lewis LLP, $550 for the Seaview versus Trustees Legal Services, and $1,345 for Stark Aiden versus Town of East Hampton Legal Services. Vistry Materials Incorporated, $35,150, and $26,600 for mechanical dredging.
I make a motion to pay the bills.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I just have a question about the Istrian bills. Does that include the sand moving? Or
No, it does not.
it's just a dredge?
No, that's just for the excavated work. The sand, the moving of the sand would be a separate thing that they haven't started moving it yet, so we didn't see that until next month.
Yeah, Fresh Pond is completed, the sand has been spread, it looks great down there.
That's good.
We have financials from July 2025, August 2025, and September 2025. Has anybody reviewed them?
I started to, but I'm not finished, and I'd rather wait until December's are finished and then have the whole year and look at them that way. That's just my preference, but
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
yeah, because we're one.
We can
month.
table them until next month.
I have a question about the wind farm monies. How often do they come in?
Annually.
Once a year.
Well, typically that's the monies are owed in March. I don't think we got the money until June or July this year.
Yep. And the way that happens is the full sum goes to the town and the town transfers our portion directly to our bank
Hey,
account.
Francis, I think moving forward this year, I think we should, I had a conversation with Dan Spitzer a while ago about this. And Dan said the important thing on this is to actually invoice Orsted at the time those monies are due. And and that way there's a follow-up. There's a backstop on when the monies are owed.
By the way, the news is that the suit against that Orsted brought against the federal government for and the state of Rhode Island for the freeze was won by the state of Rhode Island. So the work is going to start up again.
Yeah, that
Doesn't matter
Just happened.
doesn't matter about the work, because irregardless of whether the company becomes insolvent, the monies are still owed in the lease agreement that we have there. The lease agreement, the monies should survive.
Right, even if they're shut, even if they're temporarily shut
Just
down.
FYI, Orsted has gotten a lot of relief financially, so it is not in bankruptcy.
But if it were to become insolvent, someone would purchase that wind turbine because it's generating electricity, it's fully functional. So it's not like it's gonna just sit there.
You have the language in the contract. It doesn't matter whether you're making money, not making money, solvent, insolvent, the monies are still owed.
They would have to pay.
The contract would survive.
Yes, and the contract survives a sale.
So if we invoice them every year, we need to be sure we're including that increase.
Yes, you just
annual
do,
increase, and we know that.
you just include the 2% escalator. And there should be like an amortization schedule that, Arlene, you guys have, so you know that you're billing for 2000, from the first, from when they started to owe us money when when they came online, when they started producing electricity. That was the start date, which I think was around 15th of March 2 years ago.
I think that's good practice, though, to invoice them.
Yeah, because we've been like, well, where's your check? But, the first thing Dan said is,
Yeah,
even though this contract, give them a bill.
that can be built right into your other funds. Just generate everything.
And I think if there isn't, there should be some language in there on a monthly basis of late payment penalties. Like any other.
Yeah,
We should set that up with our.
yeah. Okay, anybody have anything else they want to bring up before we close?
Well, we heard that the marshal for the St. Patrick's Day Parade was selected.
Grand Marshal. Grand Marshal.
Yes, the Grand Marshal.
Tommy Grenzi.
So we should start thinking about that, right? March.
March in the
March is
parade.
coming.
It's actually the end of the month. It's 29th of
March
March
29th,
this
okay.
year, so
Yeah, someone needs to.
it's not like it's next week. It's not even like it's
You don't want to do it again?
St. Patty's Day.
We have to start ordering, we got ordering those beads.
Oh, you did great.
Ordering the beads and the candy.
I just like to bring up that
Need more.
apparently we're testing a new AI-generated minutes program. Regardless of that, this may be important for that, but I think regardless of that, I think in the coming year, when we make decisions, when people make motions, I think the motions are going to have to be made in some detail so that the minutes, whether they're generated by AI or whether they're interpreted by Allison or Arlene, can be clear as to what that motion was.
We'll see when we get our first output, we should get it to this meeting. But I think the important thing is with the agendas, to tell what on the agenda, state what the objective of that agenda item is. Is it a decision? Is it for information? Because sometimes we just put the agenda item and we don't say who's presenting and what the objective is. That will help the AIs to,
Not looking to help the AI.
I'll work with you.
AI is supposed to help us.
It will. I mean, it will
Well,
help us.
this is not about making our life, AI's life easier. It's about making our lives easier.
Well,
And if
I
AI
think-
is unable to do what we needed to do, I'm all for keeping people employed
Yeah.
and
The
keep the
reason I bring
simple
that up is
transcription.
I find it confusing that we don't, just in our agendas, we don't have the objective.
Well, because a lot of times our agendas are written where individuals want to be listed regarding a particular subject. They aren't providing us with any details, so we don't know what direction that dialogue's going to go. So,
So if you want to just keep them like that,
yeah, it's
it's
kind of
fine.
works.
Yeah. How are we going to evaluate the AI stuff?
When you see it, I saw one,
Well,
when you read it.
Venture to read.
explain how this happened. It's the Zoom program.
So Zoom has the ability to transcribe the meeting. So it will give you, and it always has, we just didn't ask for it. So it will give you a transcription of the meeting. And then they have an AI module, which sits on top of that, which reads in the transcript. And it comes out with meeting minutes.
So are we going to be Zooming all the meetings in addition to being on
Zoom.
LTV?
You do it now anyway. So it's just a matter of using this other portion of the program. But right now, we just want to see what it
Yeah, it's
produces.
an experiment.
Okay. As long as we don't get rid of any people.
No, we're not getting rid of any people.
It gets 3 votes.
But regardless, our motion should be in some detail and clear.
Yeah, clear.
And they always should be. We're just.
I think the
Wasting
challenge
time.
is going to be when we're all speaking, it will recognize our voices. Over time, it'll learn, but when we have other people coming in and speak, to be clear to introduce them,
Francis does that.
Yeah, we do that.
Yeah, we're just trying it. We don't know.
Anybody else? Okay, well, thank you again for your support. Yeah, we do appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Great year.
Anyone like to make a motion?
Make a motion to close.
Second.
All in favor?
I-